Hi, welcome to Senior Moments Successful Aging. I'm Mary Beals-Luedtka, your host. I'm the director for NACOG, Area Agency on Aging, and you can reach us toll-free at 877-521-3500. Senior Moments Successful Aging is co-produced with the Division of Lifelong Learning at Yavapai College. Our producers are Connie Vargas from Yavapai College, and you can reach her at 928-717-7755, or you can call NACOG Area Agency on Aging at that toll-free number, 877-521-3500. My guest today is from AARP, Shawn Trobia. Hi, Shawn.
Hi, Mary.
How are you?
Really well. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me over.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. We have not had a chance to catch up for a while.
I know we've both been busy.
I know you're running that way and I'm running this way.
I know, right? I know it's hard. It's hard.
But it's all good.
It is good.
So I want to step back a little bit and talk a little bit about your background.
Sure. I moved into the aging field when I started with the Governor's Council on Aging.
I remember.
That's where we met, right?
Yes.
I know, some while back, and I was there 9 years. And then from there, I moved over to AARP, Arizona, about 8 or 9 years ago too. So I've been around for a little while.
Yes, you have.
Right.
We've done several projects together.
Yes, very much so.
So how did AARP get started? What was the, genesis of it?
Yes, it's an interesting story, and I didn't know this story until, I had worked when I was with the Governor's Council on Aging. I'd worked with colleagues at AARP, and I thought I knew a lot about AARP, but when I started working there, I learned about the founder, and it's a remarkable story. There was a high school principal, this is back in the 1940s, high school principal, her name was Dr. Ethel Percy Andrews, and she was the first female high school principal in the state of California at the time. And when she retired from teaching and she became active with the California Retired Teachers Group, and she was their welfare director, is her title at the time. And what her role was to check on teachers that were retired or educators and just kind of help make sure that people were doing okay. One day she was asked by a local grocer that there was a woman that hadn't been into the grocery store for a while, and he was concerned because that wasn't normal for this lady. So Dr. Andrews went to the address of the woman that the grocer had on file. She went to the address and went up to the front door and knocked on the door, and they said, "There's nobody by that name here." But they said, you might want to go around back and check in the back. So Dr. Andrews walked around the house and went into the backyard, and she found this retired teacher living in a chicken coop.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, can you imagine? And there was no safety net. The woman had no safety net. She had no family. Her pension was obviously inadequate, and she was living in a chicken coop.
Wow.
So that was when Dr. Andrews said, I need to do something about this. So what she decided to do, since she was very active with the Retired Teachers Group, she pulled together all of the state's Retired Teachers Group, and she knew that one voice was a bigger voice in D.C. when it comes to advocacy. And she started the National Retired Teachers Association as a result of what happened. And when she brought all of the voices together, then she was very active, of course, in the D.C. area on behalf of retired teachers and educators. She was so successful, and she was doing so much to help give more security and a safety net to those retired teachers that people came to her and they wanted to join, but they were not retired educators. Mm-hmm. So she, after a number of years and after she was having so much success, she decided to then start AARP. And that's how AARP got started 62 years ago.
I didn't know that.
I know it's fascinating, right?
Yeah.
And to think that it was a chicken coop that started how AARP came around.
And came from teachers.
And so we have a very close relationship with teachers. In fact, the Arizona group of retired teachers, they have office space in our state office in Phoenix. So we still have a very close relationship and support for teachers.
That is fascinating.
Isn't that neat? She must have been a phenomenal woman.
Yes. And I love that a woman started it. Just because.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Right?
So how many members are in AARP across the country? I mean, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's over 38 million people across the country. It's how can you understand that number?
Yeah.
And then even in the state of Arizona, though, we're over 900,000. We're on our way to 1 million. AARP members in the state of Arizona. And then even here in Yavapai County, we're at 52,000 AARP members in Yavapai County. So we're a force.
We are a force.
And we have a voice.
I'm one of them.
You are?
Of course I am.
Thank you for being a member.
Absolutely.
Thank
My
you for
husband
being-
and I both are members. I am going to be 65 this year. So now I'm getting inundated, with all the advertisements
right?
and stuff for Medicare. I'm like, no, I'm still working.
Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Yes.
So what is the focus really for AARP right now across the country?
Well, what we focus on across the country, of course, there's so many efforts that are options for different staff in different states to work on and such. But really, the focus across the country, generally speaking, is to help people that are 50 plus years of age do their best and live their fullest, and help them by empowering them, engaging them, and seeing what we can do to help them see their own real possibilities. So we do that in all kinds of different ways, So
it's really successful aging. I mean, like we talk about on the show.
That's exactly what it's about. Is think outside of the box. And if you think that you perhaps can't consider something or do something or are hesitant to do something, take a chance, think out of the box, reach out to a friend. As you know, isolation is huge, a very huge concern for a lot of folks that are over 50 and even younger, of course. So those are the kinds of things that we also support community partners like you for things like whether it's fighting isolation, food insecurities. We're good partners with the Prescott Meals on Wheels and groups like that.
Yes.
But then we do fun things too. We support our members in lots of different ways. Advocacy is huge, both at the state level and at the federal level. And then we have fun things too, like movies for grown-ups, as an example. Something that we bring to our AARP members as a just way of having them, give them a little thank you and a little fun and something social. So we do, serious topics, advocacy topics, and then fun things like inviting people out to coffee over at the courthouse square too.
That sounds like fun.
So we do a lot.
So you mentioned some things, but so what are you doing right here in Yavapai County? Or
we have 28 volunteers in Yavapai, Prescott and Prescott Valley.
Okay.
We're very, very fortunate. And with myself as the staff person that lives north of Phoenix, I'm responsible for all of northern Arizona, but really there's a real special focus of Prescott and Prescott Valley, and I live here in Prescott too. So my 28 volunteers and I, we work on, we have community service projects that we do together. We support, for one example, the Yavapai Food Bank. When the Yavapai Food Bank collects food at the time in May, when the post office partners with the food banks and they collect all that food, the AARP volunteers are the ones that show up on Monday morning and in the parking lot of Yavapai Food Bank. And this year we sorted 10,000 pounds of food.
wow.
So we've done that 5 years in a row. We're able to do things like that. We're fortunate that some of us can do that. We like to support family caregivers. That's big, as you would know. Family caregivers they have a hard road, and we have resources and information for them that can help them in their daily duties. We have it's a prepare to care guide, and I didn't bring one with me, but it's a prepare to care guide, and it's a guide that we give to family caregivers, and we also have presentations where we go through the guide. And the guide is all about 5 key messages that a family caregiver needs to consider, anywhere from starting the conversation with the person that they're taking care of to making a plan, forming your team, looking for community resources, and last but not least, to take care of yourself. So that's the 5 key messages, and we have a pretty good conversation about that. And then the book also includes resources both at the national level and then the statewide level. And then at the very back of the book, there are worksheets. And the worksheets, a person can tear out the worksheets that are at the back of the book and use the information that's in front of the book, and they can complete those worksheets that pertain to the person that they're taking care of, or even themselves, pertain to themselves if they want to make sure they're planning ahead and having all their own ducks in a row too. So that's just one example of what we can do for family caregivers.
And they need all the help they can get.
Yes, they do.
So
They do.
how would someone get one of those books?
Give me a call.
Give you a call, and what's your phone number?
It is 928-273-7601.
Okay, we'll make sure they put that on the screen.
Oh, okay, good,
So they can
Yeah.
see that during the show and give you a call. Is there a website they could go on to look?
We have two local AARP websites. We have a local AARP website both for Prescott and Prescott Valley. And those web addresses, and everything that we do, anything that we do, our free coffees, our movies for grown-ups, our prepare to care presentations. We have fun events that we do, whether it's brain health related or disrupting aging. Anyway, all that information is on those websites.
Okay.
So it's aarp.org/Prescott or aarp.org/Prescott Valley.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, right. With no spaces or anything. But
Okay.
But both of those websites, they should be pretty much identical to what they have on there. Even though we do our movies for grown-ups over at the Harkins in Prescott Valley, it makes it to both of the websites. But that's the best way to really see what we're doing and to see what there might be that you might want to come and attend.
So do you need to be an AARP member to attend?
No, we welcome anyone.
That's
we
nice.
welcome anyone, of course, yes.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So what's a little known fact about AARP that people don't know?
Well, that's a good question. I would say one of the things that the AARP volunteers learn when we bring them on board and do orientation, they're always like, "Really? Wow, that's crazy." Our AARP magazines, at the front of every magazine, it's the same cover every month. Whether it's Martin Short or whoever it might be on the front cover, but every month when those magazines go out to the 38
Yes, I get one.
million, right? Volunteers, right? Or members. Those magazines there's 3 different versions of that same magazine, and you can't tell from the front of the cover that there any difference. But we have an A version that is designed to be of interest to people that are 50 to 60 years of age. There's a B
Interesting.
version that's 60 to 75, and then a C version that's 75 and above. Because we recognize that somebody who's 55 years old isn't necessarily going to have the same interest in different articles or pieces of information that somebody that's 85 years old might. So you can it's a little secret, but if you take a look at the table of contents page on your magazine and look up in the very top right-hand corner, there's a number, and it'll say number 3, or like for the year, number 3 and then A. And then if it's an A, if you're between 50 and 60, you're getting an A version.
I'm going to get a B.
I'm getting a B too. I'm in the B version too, right? Yes, and that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But the A version might be a little bit more inclusive of maybe trails or travel or that sort of thing, but a C version maybe had a little bit more information about maybe hearing loss or something like that. So we try to give information to those particular groups that they'll find of value. So
That is interesting.
That's a little known fact. Right?
I'll have to compare to my little sister.
Yes, she might be a little different.
Yeah, she's 10 years younger than I am.
She probably has a different version then, yeah. And if you go page by page, you can see the differences. You can see, well, this article's here, but it's not over here. But it's fun. It's fun to compare the two. If you get an A and a B version.
Who knew, right?
Right. That's a little known fact.
So can you tell me a little bit more about some community service projects that you do?
Sure. As I mentioned, community service, as it is with so many people, is very important to to the AARP volunteers and myself. I mean, it's very important to all of us. And so that's one of our areas where we want to make sure that we can do something as a group as we can and as we can find those things. So I'm always looking for community service projects that are good for like 8 to 10 people who can make something, make something happen in like 3 or 4 hours in one setting where we can assist. So as an example, we do a barbecue. We host a group of veterans here in the Prescott area to a barbecue every year. And we host literally 65 veterans, men and women. We have a blast. We do the cooking, we do the serving, we play some bingo afterwards, and that's one thing that easily 15 of us can get together and do, and it makes a difference. And we love it. I mean, and what's more important, of course, in feeding them, giving them the barbecue lunch and everything, but then you get to sit and visit. And you get to sit and listen to their stories and get to know them, have some entertainment with all the information that we all share. It's really it's very worthwhile. And I have a number of AARP we probably have about 6 of our volunteers that are veterans.
So you're often looking for projects?
Yes, we are. Please do. Same
Okay.
phone number, 928-273-7601.
So you
we're-
want a finite amount of time,
Yes, it's to go in and make a difference and then have that project be finished
have that
up.
project be, okay,
Right.
that's good to know.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
that's why I bring that up too.
That's a great idea.
One of the things we do, we go up to the Arizona Pioneers Home and we host the residents there for an ice cream social. And we do that once or twice a year. It's always fun. And again, ice cream's wonderful, serving them is great. We all have a good time. But sitting down with them and enjoying the Sundays with them and listening to their stories, it's a wonderful experience.
That's the best part.
That's the part. We're there for the ice cream serving, but we're there to visit with folks and to give them some of our time.
And like you said, that social isolation piece, it helps
Yes,
them,
Yes.
Have somebody to talk to and
Right.
not feel like they're alone. And,
Yes, a new face.
well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
Okay, good. Yeah, please do.
I wrote that one down.
Yeah, with the area agency, if there's
And
something we can help there, let us
So
know.
you don't do any ongoing projects?
No, because we have so much on our calendar.
Gotcha.
We already have so much on our calendar that it would be difficult for us to obligate ourselves like every once a month
Understandable.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But we have had experiences like Big Brothers Big Sisters have reached out to us as an example, and we've helped them a couple of times with different things. And then some of our volunteers then continue to help them on their own because they've got that time and they find that very, rewarding for everybody. So we'll even our projects that are just once and maybe once a year or something, a lot of those companies or organizations then benefit from our volunteers in other ways, even if the group of us can't go out. So
that works.
and we're open. I like to have something that, some folks can sit and do and that sort of thing. It's not all sorting food, cans
Right.
of food and throwing cans of food over at the food bank,
Right.
which is fun.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's a lot of fun, but it's not all that, so something that anybody can do is we appreciate that.
I know out in the White Mountains,
Oh, uh-huh.
they have the city council once a month goes to the senior center and serves the seniors lunch.
Oh, how nice.
And then they disperse themselves around to all the tables, and then just one at each table and sits with the seniors
and has a conversation.
and have conversations with them.
Yeah,
And so the
nice.
chief of police, the mayor, the vice mayor, one of the policemen in office, in uniform, and they serve everybody.
Oh, that's great.
And something like that might be kind of fun.
That would be great. That's
to
a
do
good
that.
idea.
Yeah, you have to talk to Bert. I
Yeah,
know you
yeah.
work really.
Yeah, we'll work.
She's amazing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I can't. Her and her team.
Amazing.
What great community
We are
partners,
so lucky to have Bert iGems in our
Yes.
community and Prescott Meals on Wheels. They're an
Very much.
amazing organization.
Yeah, they really
covering
are.
both Prescott and Prescott Valley.
I don't know how they do
I
it.
don't know, but she's got it going on.
Yeah, and she's got the volunteers and the
Yeah.
coordination, and she's making it happen.
Yeah, she is.
Right.
And speaking of, so are you also always looking for more volunteers?
We are. We are always open to have conversations. We have, between our presentation, we have all kinds of different activities that a volunteer can do. So what I've done is to have all kinds of different, like a buffet to choose from, so that maybe we can have a little something for anybody who wants to volunteer. So we're always looking for folks that want to learn a little bit more about us, maybe shadow us at our different events. We have resource tables where we share information and talk to the public, that sort of thing. Always looking for somebody who might want to learn more about us and then see if there's a good fit for them in what we do.
So, and they can always just call you, or they
Right.
could look on the website and see when an event is and maybe show up.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
see what, or do you often have a table at community events too?
Well, one of the things, yes, we do. We partner, again, with so many folks, including the area agency. I mean,
Absolutely, you're
we're
a huge partner with us.
Well, it's our pleasure. I mean,
Thank you.
we love supporting your events and your caregiver efforts too, very much. One of the things that we do that's kind of fun too is in the spring and then in the fall, we host people to free coffee and tea down across from the courthouse square on Gurley at Firehouse Coffee Company, right inside there with Spice Traveler and such. So 6 times a year we're down there, and we put it in our brochure, in our spring and our fall brochure. So what we found is people that have wanted to learn more about us or come meet us, they come down and they have coffee. They see the notice either on the website or they see it in the brochure, and they come down and we're there for a couple hours. It always gets posted on our website so folks can look and see what the dates are, but we 3 in the spring and 3 in the fall, and that's one way. One reason we've kept that up too is it's a way for people to come in and just say hi. And we've had people come in and say hi. We've had community organizations come in and talk to us about how they could perhaps partner with us. That's how I started working with Big Brothers Big Sisters. They came over for coffee, somebody a few years back. So it's one of the ways people can find us. And
Have you already been up here a few years?
I've been working in the Prescott area for 8 years already.
Has it been that long
8
already?
years
I remember when you
I
first
know,
moved
right?
up.
I know. Well, I've been up, and I've moved up 2.5 years ago. But so
Yeah.
8 years ago, I was going up and down that hill more than I needed to. Well, I
I
needed
can-
to,
yeah.
but more than it was
Yeah.
good idea to do. So I was able. That's another reason that AARP Arizona, that shows the level of support that they have for Northern Arizona
Yeah.
and for the Yavapai County area in particular by having me move up here. We only have 10 staff for the state office. And so that's the level of support and the level of support that they wish to offer Yavapai County and Northern Arizona when we can get to other parts of Northern Arizona.
Well, this is our big county.
It is.
67% of our funding is Yavapai County for the
Wow.
region.
Wow.
And, and then it's got the largest percent of seniors. I mean,
Right.
so that, they know what they're doing.
Yes, well, they did. That's why they chose
They know what they're doing.
Prescott some years back.
So let's talk a little bit more about some of the free presentations. So some more examples of those,
Right.
what you do.
We do. We have 5 different presentations, but I'll just mention 3 of them for the sake of today. But I mentioned the prepare to care. So
Yes.
for family caregivers or children, adult children, folks that might even be taking care of a sibling or an older parent, that sort of thing, we have our family caregiving prepare to care presentations. We can do those in as little as 30 minutes. If you've got an hour, you've got time for conversation and Q&A, and they walk away with really some valuable tools. I forgot to mention, one of the tools that they walk away with is we have a Yavapai, I know you know this too, the Yavapai Coconino Caregiver Resource Guide. So we've put together a local resource guide.
Nice.
So that family caregivers can look at that, and they've got 2 pages of Yavapai and Coconino. We couldn't put everything in there, it would be many more pages, but I'm sure you know, the Area Agency on Aging, NACOG, is at the top of that list on that 2-page locals. And that's because we always share that if you can't find it on these 2 pages, call the Area Agency and they'll help you out. So that
At the toll-free number.
Yes, exactly. It is. It's that. And in fact, we partnered with your office when we put that together. I partnered with some of your staff to see what should we include in this, and they were very helpful. So we weren't reinventing the wheel, but it's a great partnership. So the Prepare to Care folks go out with that Yavapai Coconino resource guide.
So they've got the Prepare to Care, they got the resource guide.
Right.
And you can do it in 30 minutes.
Yes.
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 I mean, that's valuable because one of the things with family caregivers, as you know, they're afraid to leave.
They're very busy. It's difficult to get out, and we totally understand that. Very
It's
much
hard for
so.
them to get out.
Right. Exactly.
It's very hard for them to get out.
And then one of the things that we share there too, speaking of community partners, but people who care, have a wonderful list of support groups, local support groups. And so I took their list and we gave them, the courtesy copy at the top. This is as courtesy from people who care, Fritzy over there. And we always have our support group, their support group listings at our events too. So people, after they've, maybe discussed a difficult subject and it's a hard one, but when they walk out, they've got a list of support groups too.
That's another force to be reckoned with, and that's Fritzy.
Yes, right.
People who care.
She's wonderful.
And the support groups, sometimes it's really hard to get started in a support group, and I know we try to keep track of those too and guide people to them.
Yes, I bet
because
you
if you
do.
just step through that door and know that you're not alone
And start.
and start,
Yeah.
it really can help a lot.
I bet that's true. It makes
know.
sense that you also would be sharing that information too. Thank you for
Absolutely.
doing that. Your help desk is just
Thank
what
you.
an asset, what a resource.
Thank you. We have a new gal who's going to take her AIRS testing this summer and be certified along with Dan, so we're excited about that.
Good. Good.
So what's another kind of presentation that you give?
So we do the family caregivers, as I mentioned, fraud, awareness, identity theft,
That's good.
protection. It's huge. So AARP at the national level about 5 years ago started an effort with fraud awareness, and it's called the Fraud Watch Network. So folks can go on to just even Google just Fraud Watch Network.
Okay.
And you'll find on that website, it's an AARP website, they will find a map of the whole United States. You can put in there your zip code and then click on that, and they will take you to this part of your world, and they'll show you what kind of scams have been reported in through that map and through that process. So when we do Fraud Watch Network presentations, we talk about the map, we talk about the website. Same thing though, we have some really great resources. So we walk them through a book that is called the Watchdog Alert, and it talks about all the different kind of common scams. We find that when you have that conversation, people start finding out that they might share what they thought they wouldn't share before, but they share a little bit and they find somebody at the other end of the room had that similar experience and maybe did become a victim, and it starts a conversation and people start figuring out, number one, it's not shameful, it's unfortunate, but it's not shameful, and if you share information, that helps other people be protected. So that's a great thing that comes out of those presentations too.
I'm really glad you're doing that. We no longer have a legal program at the Area Agency on Aging. We work with legal services, and I always worry that we're not doing enough.
It's hard. There's so much to do.
There's so much to do. So it's great that you're doing that in this area, because
we appreciate it. And
we need more of it.
And you read in the paper maybe once a week of a new scam. So you think you've got it.
I know.
You think you've got everything understood and figured out, and then the con artists come up with something new that's just pretty darn bright.
They're constantly thinking.
They are professionals at what they do.
Can you imagine if they use that brain power for something good?
I totally I know it's sad, isn't it?
I know.
I know it's a shame. It's scary.
It is a shame.
It's scary.
And so you said you had a third one.
Yes, the third one I'm very proud to be able to talk about too. It's called Dementia Friends.
Oh, we just had a show about that.
Yeah, right.
I love that.
It's a
program.
It's a great program.
I love that program.
So it started in the United Kingdom, and then it came over to the United States. I think it went then to Minnesota first, but then Arizona was like the second one. Yes, he's a champion. That's right. He's a Dementia Friends champion. Exactly.
So you're doing that as well.
We have 3 champions. We have, and as for the sake of explaining what a champion is. But in order to do the workshop, then you go through the training and you're deemed a champion. So you're right. You have a very busy champion
we're
on
lucky.
your staff.
We're lucky to have that, and it's nice at AARP, because really it takes a village to do all this, and AARP does so much, and I am so happy that you're in our world up here in Yavapai County, and I appreciate that you're here with us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you for coming, Shawn.
Thank you for having me, Mary.
Thank you for being with us today on Senior Moments Successful Aging. I'm Mary Beals-Luedtka. Until next time.